Ho ho, first recording in over a month. It feels good to be recording again, speaking into a mic. But I'll talk more about my return and the future of the channel in a video in a couple of days. But for now, let's just get back into the rhythm of the channel and begin the summary. Oh yeah, and get excited for the return of My Hero. Can't wait to see what Season 6 holds. Let's get it. In a world where 80% of the human population have some sort of unique ability, or quirk as it's called, young Izuku Midoriya falls into the 20% that are quirkless and looked down upon. Even still, Midoriya is a hero fanboy and has a dream of making it into UA, the top hero high school in the country.
In this world, being a hero is a professional line of work.
Although his childhood bully Katsuki Bakugo, who has the hottest quirk in the class, does his best to dishearten him from applying at all.
He says they're childhood friends, but I'ma just keep it a buck and call him his bully.
On his walk home from school, Midoriya is attacked by a villain, though his all-time favorite hero All Might steps in to save him. Midoriya grabs onto the number one hero as he leaves to turn in the villain to the cops, and gets to ask him if even someone without a quirk can become a hero like him.
By the way, there's absolutely no consent here.
However, before All Might can answer, he deflates into a skinny shell of himself, and explains that since an injury he received from an enemy 5 years ago, he can only work as a hero 3 hours a day.
This is a secret that the public don't know about.
He then answers the young boy's question, though it's not what he wants to hear, and after advising him to be realistic about his future, he leaves to deliver the captured villain to the police. Although, he dropped the bottle containing the villain when Midoriya grabbed hold of him, and nearby, it goes on a rampage with Bakugo as its hostage. When Midoriya walks by the scene and notices Bakugo being taken over by the slime villain, he rushes in to save him without thinking. All Might, who had been watching nearby, is inspired by the young boy's courage, and despite being past his body's limit, enters the scene and saves the two students. In the aftermath, on his walk home from school, Bakugo stops Midoriya and scolds him for trying to help him and looking down on him.
What a cunt.
Immediately after, All Might appears and praises his courage, and tells him that he too can become a hero. He tells young Midoriya that he has been looking for a successor to his quirk, One for All, which is a transferable quirk that has been cultivated and passed down for generations. In order to become a suitable vessel to inherit this powerful quirk, Midoriya is put through a hellish training regimen for 10 months, up to the day of the UA entrance exam. Finally, on the day of the exam, with his goal finally accomplished, All Might gives him a strand of his hair to ingest, allowing him to inherit his power.
That's nasty.
Then, without a chance to test drive his new power, Midoriya heads to the site of the entrance exam. After a slow start, he saves a young examiner from one of the test robots with the use of his new power, though his smash attack leaves both his legs and one of his arms wrecked. Though the UA nurse recovery girl is able to use her quirk to heal him, Izuku still ends with 0 points on the practical portion of the exam.
The robot he hit was worth 0 points.
However, his heroic display to save a fellow examiner enabled him to pass the exam, and so, Izuku Midoriya is accepted into his dream school with a message from his favorite hero. On his first day, he and his classmates are put through a quirk assessment test, with their homeroom teacher Shota Aizawa threatening the last place students with expulsion. When he confronts Midoriya for having 0 potential due to his quirk breaking his body after a single use, the youngster impresses him and All Might by finally showing a little control over his new power.
All Might is also a new teacher at the school.
In the end, he still comes last in the overall assessment, though Aizawa shares that he was just bluffing about the expulsion. Midoriya makes quick friends with Tenya Ida and Ochako Uraraka, the girl he saved during the entrance exam, and when the next day comes, they face their first true challenge at UA. In their hero basic training course with All Might, Class 1A finally get to show off their abilities in a 2-on-2 combat training drill.
Ooh, nice costumes. What in the hell are you wearing, my guy?
2 students will act as villains protecting a nuclear weapon, whilst the other 2 will try to dispose of it. Fight 1 consists of Midoriya and Uraraka as the heroes, versus Bakugo and Ida as the villains. Bakugo immediately attacks Midoriya, and both of their emotions flare up when remembering their grim past with each other.
They grew up in the same neighborhood, and Bakugo has basically always bullied Deku.
Midoriya is determined to surpass his childhood friend, and feigns a direct attack, but sacrifices his left arm to smash the floors above him, allowing Uraraka to get past Ida and secure the weapon with her zero-gravity ability. Though his team won the battle, Midoriya ends up in the hospital for the 3rd time, and All Might visits him after class is over, only for Recovery Girl to scold him for being so careless with his successor.
Yeah, she knows the secret of his quirk, along with his best friends and the principal.
When he's released from the hospital, Midoriya runs after Bakugo to tell him that he hadn't been hiding his quirk from him all this time, but that he received it from someone else. Though this makes Bakugo even more upset, and he vows to become the #1 hero. Then when the man currently holding that title tries to console his pride, he brushes him off with contempt in his eyes. All Might scolds Midoriya for almost revealing the secret of One for All, and warns him of the danger he and society would face if the secret got out. The next day, the press instigated a security breach in the school after getting past its perimeter, causing a panic amongst the students. Ida is able to calm the students down after assessing the situation, and because of this, Midoriya relinquishes the role of class rep that he was elected to earlier to his friend, who is much more suited to the role.
No member of the press did this.
And their next Hero Basic Training course, the class head off campus for a rescue simulation, with Aizawa, All Might, and the Space Hero 13 as their instructors.
All Might did too much hero stuff on his way to work, so he's resting in the lounge at the school.
When they arrive at the site of their class, before they begin their simulation, a group called the League of Villains show up to spoil their exercise, with All Might as their target.
They were the ones who infiltrated the school that allowed the press to flood in. They got the school schedule, which is why they know where All Might is supposed to be at that time.
Eraserhead proceeds to take on the mass of low-level villains, whilst 13 attempts to lead the children to safety. However, her path is blocked by a strange warp villain called Kurogiri, who uses his quirk to scatter the students all over the building. Midoriya, Mineta, and Asui end up together at the shipwreck site, and through their combined quirks, they defeat the villains surrounding them and make their escape. All around the building in the various rescue spots, the other students do the same and manage to overcome their opponents. And though the Hero 13 is defeated, Ida is able to make his escape from the building in order to get word to the school. Tomura Shigaraki, the leader of this League of Villains, attacks Eraserhead after he's worn out from fighting and injures him with some sort of decomposition quirk. Then, his pet Nomu, who is a bioengineered anti-symbol of peace, overwhelms Eraserhead and hammers his face into the ground. When Tomura finds out that one of the students escaped to get help, he decides to go home, but not before attacking some of the students as a message to All Might, the symbol of peace. Midoriya steps in to save Asui from the villain, but though for once his smash doesn't break his arm, Nomu takes the full brunt of the hit and seems to take no damage. Then, before they can be killed, All Might bursts through the front door to save the day. He saves the students and Aizawa, then takes on Nomu, but he underestimates his opponents and finds himself about to be cut in half. However, Todoroki and Bakugo step in to save him, allowing him to escape the villain's clutches. Then, All Might tells the students to hang back, as he summons every bit of strength he has left and then some, to overcome Nobu's shock absorption ability, and sends the monster flying out of the building. Then, with his body well past his limit, he manages to maintain his hero form, and goads the still standing Tomura and Kurogiri into fighting him. Though they call his bluff, and Tomura rushes to attack, then Midoriya jumps in to save his mentor, the only one aware that he is unable to move a muscle. The villains react in time to counterattack, but before they can execute it, Ida returns with a host of heroes by his side. They rescue the students from the remaining villains, but before Tomura and Kurogiri can be captured, they escape with the latter's warp gate quirk. In the aftermath, All Might thanks Midoriya for stepping in to save him, then the injured are taken to the hospital. Meanwhile, Tomura escaped with bullets to his arms and legs, though even through his failure, his master encourages him to learn from this experience, and to show the world that he is to be feared. Finally, All Might's friend and detective Namasa Tsukauchi visits him and Midoriya in the hospital, and assures them that everyone will be alright. Then, All Might states that the villains made a foolish mistake in attacking the students, as it will only spur them on to be greater heroes. Woo! First video back in a while. It feels good to be done. I hope you enjoyed. If you made it this far, you know what to do. Do it if you want, don't do it if you don't want. But if you did enjoy and you're here, you might as well click the like button and subscribe to the video. It takes 2 seconds to do it right now. Anyways, like I said, a new video will be out in a couple of days, talking about the future of the channel. I won't speak on that here. So with that being said, for anybody who cares, stay tuned for that. I will catch you then. Take it easy, and peace.